As the official story about the lone gunman Stephen Paddock and the shooting in Las Vegas begins to collapse almost as quickly as World Trade Center 7 on 9/11, we're going to tell you the horrifying truth about the even bigger lie about the Vegas event that almost no one is talking about. Forensic audio analysis of the Las Vegas shooting is providing nearly conclusive evidence that alleged and now deceased shooter Stephen Paddock could not have been the only shooter.
There are two different shooters at two different locations.
Meanwhile, the FBI's official timeline of the shooting has changed with new revelations that Paddock allegedly shot a security guard a full 6 minutes before he opened fire on concertgoers. This astounding revelation blows yet another huge hole in the official narrative and leads those who are not mentally impaired to ask if a Mandalay Bay maintenance team could and would respond to an overflowing toilet in a 32nd floor suite within 6 or 7 minutes to prevent flooding. Where on earth was the casino's security teams that evening? We now know that nearly everything about the official Las Vegas narrative, including the official story's check-in date for Stephen Paddock, is untrue. And as Sheriff Lombardo of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department attempts to keep the press updated on the ever-changing storyline, his FBI handler, Special Agent in Charge Aaron C. Rouse, keeps a watchful eye on Lombardo as if to say, stay on script. And we'd like to point out something very strange about Special Agent Rouse. It's probably just an odd coincidence, but according to researchers at Vote, Aaron C. Rouse, who before being assigned as the special agent in charge of the Las Vegas division of the FBI, most recently served as section chief in the counterintelligence division at FBI headquarters. But that's not the strange coincidence. No, the strange thing about Aaron C. Rouse is that he's married to this woman, Dublin, California School Board trustee Megan Rouse. And the weird thing about that is Megan's father is this man, John Podesta. But that's not even the horrifying truth about the official Las Vegas narrative. This is, regardless of what exactly really happened in the Las Vegas shooting, the mainstream narrative continues to parrot that alleged shooter Stephen Paddock was radicalized by ISIS, which immediately took credit for the attack. That unproven storyline has even found support from alternative media sources like InfoWars' Alex Jones.
So 10, 11 days ago, on October 1st, we told you that our sources revealed to us that there were major ISIS connections to the Las Vegas shooter. Now, by Monday, it became clear from our White House sources that the national security apparatus has asked the president not to release this information because ISIS was planning this attack with codes built into it to trigger massive sleeper cell attacks across the United States that we'd even been predicting would coincide with the Antifa uprisings that are now beginning.
As readers and viewers of SGT Report now know, ISIS, a rebranding of Al-Qaeda, is little more than a CIA-created, Pentagon-funded group of mercenaries that are being used to cause destabilization throughout the Middle East, most recently in Syria, where Pentagon-backed ISIS leadership has been photographed meeting with Senator John McCain, and where ISIS rebels are being trained and used in the attempt to topple Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. So, if ISIS sleeper cells are active in the United States, as Jones is reporting, the question is, who comprises these teams? Who funds them? How did they get into the country? And how, given the Big Brother surveillance state, do they move around the country so freely? The answer to that question may indeed be deeply disturbing. In July of 2014, Knesset member and former Shin Bet chief Israel Hassan gave this blunt warning to a visiting group of European diplomats.
If you do not stand by our side, the day when Islamic terror will reach your homes, your beds, and your kindergartens will come soon.
Yeah, but wait a minute. If they're not standing by Israel's side, why would jihadists target Europe?
Well, could it be
Israel's subtle, I say it's a threat. It's a subtle threat from Israel.
Could it be a relationship between the jihadi
and Israel?
And the Israeli Shin Bet, which is one of the
army intelligence
services of the
Special
international
forces,
Jewry.
Special forces.
This wasn't published for Gentile readers. This is a Jewish publication for Jewish people. They think we Gentiles, we're stupid. We don't read what they write for themselves.
And when we've seen other attacks throughout the world, when asking the question, cui bono, who benefits, it always seems the real beneficiary of the attacks is Israel.
The fact of the matter is we are coming from a country that experiences terror daily. Our purpose was to document the event.
Do you think that this warning is only limited to the European people, Brendan?
No, it's to everyone.
Do you think Australia is a target as well of this jihadi?
Well, how many Australian Jews go to Israel, serve in the Israeli Defence Force, serve in their army intelligence, serve in Mossad, serve in the counterintelligence branch, serve in their electronics intercept branch, serve in their explosive ordnance branch, you name it. And then they come back to Australia and their name's Bill Jones and they talk just like an Aussie, mate. Yeah, g'day, mate, how you going? And yeah, they're working for Israel.
And you forgot to mention one more thing.
Yeah,
Israeli death squads.
Oh, the death squad, yeah.
The death squads running around, killing people.
Heart attack, stroke, car accident, truck. Who was that Israeli academic who threatened that if Europe didn't stand by Israel, abandon Israel, they would nuke European cities?
He was the Israeli professor of military history.
Yeah, that's it. He said it in Amsterdam.
Martin van Creveld. Martin van Creveld.
Yeah.
He said
nuclear weapons and how Israel had threatened European capitals. If you look at the background of this, Israeli military researcher, historian Martin van Creveld had actually threatened European cities with annihilation.
So when the next terrorist attack in the domestic United States occurs, and it's immediately blamed on or claimed by ISIS, keep in mind the warnings, or thinly veiled threats, of former Shin Bet chief Israel Hassan. And you may want to revisit the recent claims of ex-CIA agent Robert Steele about the true nature of the shooting in Las Vegas.
Number one, Las Vegas is absolutely a false flag event. Whether people died or not, this has been concocted by the Zio-Cons, by the deep state. This is something in which Sheldon Adelson, who owns the casinos in the area where it happened, and Michael Chertoff, the Zionist first director of the Department of Homeland Security, are in a co-conspiracy with others.